I'm Jay Leibowitz, the DeSanto Visiting Chair in Applied Business and Finance here at Harrisburg University. And we're really excited to have Mr. Joseph Price, who's the Senior Vice President for Corporate Financing and Advertising Regulation at FINRA, the Financial Industry Regulatory Authority, join us with some of his comments and insights. As we're trying to further educate our students in financial literacy, I was wondering if you could just define what financial literacy means to you.
Well, I think the area that's most important today, and it's going to be faced by people who are coming into the workforce, I know this through my own sons, is that there's been a change over the years between the way people save for retirement. There used to be defined contribution plans where if you work for a company, they would simply pay you money over time during your retirement. Most of those plans have gone away because the companies that tried to support them have gone bankrupt or they just couldn't finance the plans. So what the trend has been is defined contribution plans where you take, and the cap is typically up to 6% of your salary. You put it away in a 401k program, and often your employer will match that. But you have to decide how that's going to be invested in that plan. And typically the plans will offer an array of mutual funds or exchange-traded funds or different investment alternatives, and you get to decide, you have to decide how you want it invested. So you really need to understand what the different types of mutual funds are, what the different types of investment options are, and what the risks are, and how those risks impact your horizon before you retire. My son, who just started into a 401k program, he got a document that told him he's got 43 years till he's 65. So he needs to know what to pick for a 43-year time horizon, and then he needs to know how to rebalance that over the next 43 years till he needs that money to retire on.
Wonderful. I know you are a Senior Vice President at FINRA, the Financial Industry Regulatory Authority, and I'd be curious as to just if you could provide a little bit of background on FINRA, just a little snippet so that at least our students can best understand what your mission is at FINRA.
Yeah, FINRA it's called a self-regulatory organization. It's a private nonprofit regulator. Actually, the law says that every broker in the country and every registered rep that works for a broker has to be a FINRA member, and we promulgate rules and we enforce the rules in an effort to protect investors. I think that brokers provide a great service typically to people in the country, especially because they do encourage them to save money and to turn those savings into more money through investments. And brokers raise money for small businesses. So they play a very critical and important role. But you have to recognize that the transaction here, you're taking your money, you're giving it to someone else, and then you're hoping they're going to give you your money back and give you even more money than you gave them. Well, often that happens, sometimes it doesn't. And when it doesn't, we try to do something about it.
What are some of the key trends that you see in terms of hot issues or challenges or opportunities, particularly if some of our students would be interested in moving in that direction?
Well, I think the question has two parts. One is what's the latest and what's the latest that students should be interested in and focus on, and the other is then kind of a career part of the question. I think the latest is 2 years ago Congress passed something called the Jobs Act, and under the Jobs Act they said you can use crowdfunding. Now, I think the students are probably going to be familiar with crowdfunding as it takes place today, where people try to raise money for projects and then you get in return gifts or some kind of, you're not investing in the equity, you're not investing in the stock in a company, but the SEC and FINRA right now are working on rules that are going to permit crowdfunding so that you really can invest in your local bakery or your local coffee store or whatever it is and get an equity interest and own part of that business and hope that you get a return on that investment. And once those rules come out, I think the students, young people, are going to be very interested in doing that because they're interested in doing it today when they can't even do it as an investment. So I think they should focus on that. As far as career advice, I think the financial services industry still continues to play a very important role in the country, and so I think going into finance or economics, certainly accounting is the right background. And also, as we've been talking to the students here at Harrisburg University, where we've got the science and technology backgrounds, just the amount of data that goes along with trading across the markets in the United States. I think FINRA gets something like 20 million transactions every day that are reported to us and we're looking across. So I think there's going to be a great demand for people with those technology skills to help design the right way to get the data, what is the right data, and what to do with it.
Very good. Well, thank you once again for joining us here at HU.
Glad to.